All right, guys. So in my first video today, I talked about how as a society, we are programmed to have knee-jerk reactions to statements that people say that we find to be controversial because we've been programmed to find certain statements to be controversial. We're supposed to react to them in a way that is negative. And I stumbled across this clip of Lee Peterson telling some harsh truths on Dr. Phil that literally triggered everybody, right? I mean, it triggered everybody. And clips like this is exactly why I love free speech, okay? This is why free speech is so important in this country, because even if you disagree with some of the things that Lee Peterson is saying here, him saying those things, it makes people think about what he's saying, and they can either reject it or they can accept it, or they could dig deeper into what he's saying and you learn from it, right? And that's what free speech is all about. And I think, again, this conversation here that they're having, it really does, again, show you just how valuable free speech is. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. They are discussing, is there a global population crisis? Now, I'm going to play the whole thing just so you guys can get the context of the whole conversation. But Lee Peterson is towards the end. So I'm just telling you guys, beforehand that it's going to take probably a couple minutes to get there. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Elon Musk has been tweeting about the Earth's alleged underpopulation crisis. But should we be concerned? We've agreed that it's not birth rate that's causing any kind of climate change. It's not the driver, at least, that's for sure. You think it should be, people should qualify and be tested. You think people should be tested. You think we should just feed them and let them age out.
Voluntarily.
Yeah, right.
I mean, so as a society, I mean, we value freedom, and the, reproductive choice is one of those freedoms. And I think the better approach is to try to educate people so that they're responsible when they have children and they can care for them. But I mean, I think having the government getting involved in anything like this, I mean, China's done that. It's a disaster over there.
I completely agree with you about reproductive freedom. I think that's the most important thing we need today. Hundreds of millions of couples are denied their right to not procreate. But you were mentioning
how's that, though?
Go ahead.
How are they denied that right?
They do not have the contraceptive services, reproductive health services that they need. Those are not provided. And maybe people should supply their own, but they can't afford it because they're having more offspring that they can't feed.
Where's that?
Just about everywhere. Try to get a
Just about
sterilization here in America when you haven't had kids and you're only 22.
That's true.
We're not allowing people to not breed.
We see people like that all the time, and you can put an IUD in. A copper IUD is effective for 10 years. It's inert.
Have you ever worked in a grocery store?
Yeah, so before Anton Daniels gets into this, I want to talk about the whole sterilization thing. I don't think there's a global population crisis, but I think at some point, right, there will be too much humans. And that is why I think it's important. People like Elon Musk, we continue to grow and evolve and eventually become an interplanetary species, if possible, right? But I think also with the evolution of technology, I think we will definitely be able to handle more humans on the planet. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem, at least not today. Now, should people be able to sterilize themselves if they want to? Sure, right? I'm pretty libertarian on adults, okay, for the most part. If they want to do that, that's fine. And also in America, it's pretty easy to do that, right? A woman can go and get a vasectomy if she doesn't want to have children. We have condoms, we have birth control, we have a lot of ways for people to sterilize themselves and not have children. The people that are choosing to have children, even though they shouldn't, again, they're doing that by choice. They're not being forced to. It's not because they can't afford it. It's readily affordable. It's readily available. People just choose not to use it. They're irresponsible. So again, I don't agree with the guy who, by the way, believes that humans should go extinct naturally. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I'm not necessarily sure if I agree with that guy in regards to his hypothesis that it's difficult for people to sterilize themselves or to not have children in the U.S., that we're trying to force people to have children. I actually don't believe that, right? I don't think that that's actually true. So without further ado, let's get into the next part of it.
It's inert.
Have you ever walked
Very
in a
effective.
grocery store and seen a lady with a bonnet on her head with 8 kids walking behind her? You think that she's being responsible? You think that she's really taking into consideration what she's supposed to do responsibly? You think that she's not on Section 8 housing? You don't think that we paying for her to house her kids, who's probably gonna grow up and steal my wheels off my car?
Yeah, so this guy right here in the middle, he has a YouTube channel. I actually watch it, right? So that's why I know who he is, and I'm familiar with his views. And his views are basically that people who can't afford to have kids shouldn't be having kids, right? A pretty controversial statement. So that's kind of where he's getting that from, and that's where he's coming from. So let's go ahead and get to the rest of
Her
this.
kids, who's probably gonna grow up and steal my wheels off my car?
I disagree with all this crap that I hear. I grew up with 6 brothers and 7 sisters at a time when, I grew up on a plantation in Alabama, and we grew up in a little hut house, bathroom outside. And my family raised an amazing family, children. But what the difference was then than it is now is that before you had babies, you got married. So you have the father and the mother in the home. And while the father was out earning a living, the mother was watching over his children. And so you were able to raise decent children. We didn't have government in our lives at the time. And so we were able to do that. And in America, we were not allowed all these illegal aliens and refugees to come into our country. So our government were not taking care of folks from other parts of the world and the families in America. We took care of ourselves.
I think you've
Look how triggered. Look how triggered this woman is from Jesse Lee Peterson. Basically said, a whole lot of truth here about kind of what the issues are, right, with raising children today. I actually stumbled across these statistics early today. America has the highest rate of single parent families in the world, right? We have one of the highest rates. I do believe that is a cause of a lot of the problems that we have in this country, specifically when it comes to crime. We know that contributes to crime. And I really do believe that is the core root of the cultural problems in this country. And that comes from, like Jesse Lee Peterson said, the fact that the government has incentivized women to marry them and not men, right? A woman can go out and find a man and have, 4 or 5 kids and be taken care of by the government. She doesn't need a man for financial stability. She doesn't. And that has a whole host of problems that comes along with that. Problems that we didn't necessarily have back in Jesse Lee Peterson's day. But we do now because, again, the government has replaced the father. Again, a feminist hears this and they get triggered, right? Mind blown, right? Knee-jerk reaction, right? That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Knee-jerk reaction to what really is the truth, right? It's the truth. But again, the left has told you that, hey, this is sexist, right? You're not supposed to say stuff like this.
pretty much pissed off everybody. But you said there's not anything you've heard that you don't think is crap. So what do you think? You said what you don't think. What do you think?
I know that we need to restore the family. We need a smaller government because government don't make anything work. They screw you up. We need to stop taking care of women who are having these babies out of wedlock. Correct. We need to stop taking care of these women who are coming from other countries. We need to stop taking care of their babies. We need to take care of American families.
Look at this one face, bro. They so triggered, bro. They so triggered by this. bro. Again, they've never heard this before. Again, this is hate speech. This is hate speech to them. Okay, I'm telling you, that's how they think about what this man is saying right now.
First, by getting them away from the government and restoring order.
Okay, you're a pastor, right?
Yes.
And you're a radio host?
Yes.
Okay, and you said you believe white people should have more children?
We definitely need white babies. And I tremble at the idea that white babies.
Look at this woman right here in the back. Wait, Jesse Lee Peterson. He's a hell of a troll, man. Let me rewind this.
More children?
We definitely need white babies. And I tremble at the idea that white babies, that the white group is going down in numbers, because if you lose white folks, America, it's over for America. Because if you notice, white people tend to be more innovative. They're more creative. They have ideas about things. All these other races don't do nothing but destroy. They don't build, they destroy.
I said you'd piss off everybody. I was wrong. Now you've pissed off everybody. Do you have a story?
Oh my God, bro. Those reactions was priceless. But again, that's free speech. That is free speech. Now again, if that came out of a white person's mouth, they would say he's a white supremacist, right? I mean, they say that about Jesse Lee Peterson anyways, but I'm just saying, whether you agree or disagree with the guy, him saying that in and of itself, even if you disagree, even if you reject it immediately, you still thought about it. And again, whether or not you disagree with that or not, it's worth at least a thought, right? I'm just saying, it triggers something that you probably would have never thought about before. And again, this is why free speech is so important. And I think it's actually really cool what Dr. Phil is doing and having these conversations with a lot of these influencers and stuff. Who knows? Maybe I can go on the show. Where he's because Anton Dan, he's not even that big. I think he got like 100K subscribers, but he might be a lot more connected. I'm just saying, it's good when you can openly say stuff like that, and not be canceled for it or whatever, and have that opinion and that be put out there to the public. Again, even if you fundamentally disagree with it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.